Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get straight to it without no pause, of course. We're going to get straight to this. I'm here to give you guys a couple of propers for tomorrow's Champions League. Normally, I don't do Champions League, but when I get the divination from Allah Almighty, I have to bless you guys. I have three hot games for you tomorrow. My advice is that you guys don't go overboard because the bet I'm about to give you guys here is from 80 to 90% guarantee there will be some disrespect tomorrow afternoon and or tomorrow evening, if you will, depends on where you are. Welcome to our little session called the Daily Odd Recap, where we recap all the events that took place over the past weekend. But normally I would give you one game, but since I was so upset yesterday with something that happened regarding the National Football League on Sunday, I have to make sure you guys get these three right for all my football or soccer lovers. I have three picks for you, and that will be for Wednesday's Champions League. Now, to begin, I will give you guys, as before I do that, normally I wouldn't do this for Champions League, but this is a special. Uh, as you all know, today the scorelines already came in, and I was waiting for the games to be over to give you your props. The past score lines: Lazio beat Celtic in Italy 2-0. Feyenoord lost to Atletico Madrid 3-1. AC Milan lost to Borussia Dortmund from Germany 3-1. And the big surprise, congratulations to the Magpies, Newcastle United from the UK, collecting 1 point from the mighty Paris Saint-Germain of Kylian Mbappe, who's surely looking at elimination here. And of course, Manchester City beating RB Leipzig in the second half 3-2 with Phil Foden and my boy Julian Alvarez who scored the final goal. But let's not disrespect the young lad here. Erling Haaland saved Manchester City to initiate the La Remontada, to come back from behind in the 54th minute to beat RB Leipzig. So congratulations to Manchester City. Respect to you guys. But the biggest surprise here was Newcastle United. Manchester City, you are expected to win games like this, but Newcastle United, they are having a nice weekend and a lovely week, if you ask me, over the last 7 days. First, they beat Chelsea 4-1, and then they went to La Capitale to upset Kylian Mbappe and the mighty Paris Saint-Germain, even though this team is facing an injury crisis, missing 7 to 8 players. And on top of that, let's not forget that Alessandro Tonali has been suspended by the Italian Football Federation for gambling. If you're a professional soccer in Italy, or if you're an Italian soccer player playing abroad across the top 5 leagues, and I mean the Premier League, Ligue R, La Bundesliga, La Liga, and of course Il Calcio, Il Divino, La Serie A. If you are an Italian player, if you're playing in Italy, if you play abroad, this is an advice to all the future upcoming stars who play football in the academies right now. If you are Italian, the rule now has been extended not just in Italy. If you play outside Italy, if you're betting it on the team that you play for, let's say for example, you are playing for Brentford FC or Arsenal Football Club, or you're playing for my team, Real Madrid. Arsenal's my team too, let's not forget. Or let's say you're playing for Barcelona. My advice is do not bet against yourself. They will find it, they will trace it, and once they find out you did it, you will be suspended for about 6 to 8 months. And this is what, or up to 2 years. This is what Alessandro Tonali is facing right now. And this is why for some of you guys, you don't see him in the Newcastle jersey, you're probably like, what happened? That's what he's facing right now at the moment. And as you all know, for this show, I don't do videos, strictly audio. So let me give you a tip for tomorrow. And you expect me to pick Arsenal like, yes, Arsenal is about to destroy Lens. Pause. Let's not forget that Arsenal, head to head, lost to Lens on October 3rd, 2023 in France, 2-1. Gabriel Jesus was the one to score the goals in the 14th minute, and then Lens came back before halftime in the 25th minute with a guy named Thomason who tied the game. And then the player Arsenal was supposed to sign, Mr. Wehi, Elie Wehi, the young man who is of France, of course, but who's Malian. A player Arsenal was supposed to buy instead of letting go of the young lad who play for Monaco now, who play for the United States team, Flo Belagon. They were supposed to replace him with Wahi and let go of Eddie Nketiah. Instead, they ignore that for £30 million. This kid now is worth £95 million now because why? He's bagging goals left and right, and the price went up. So Arsenal missed a golden chance to sign this young man at 21 years old for just £30 million. So the mistake has been already made. But tomorrow, if they could play like this against Arsenal at home, they already figure out the defense of Mikel Arteta. Folks, for those of you who are sharks like me, I want you guys to go with Lens against Arsenal tomorrow in London. That's how bold I am. I have nothing to hide from you guys. Lens plus 1 plus 2 as the underdog. If Arsenal win this game, it will be by 40% chance to win this game or draw this game. Since you're listening to my voice, let me repeat slowly. If you're gonna go with the underdog, I don't mind betting against my Arsenal anymore. Because why? This club is being disrespected by people. I will not mention their name here. I don't do disrespect on podcasts, but I will tell you how it's gonna go down tomorrow afternoon. Some Arsenal fans are already yelling, "Oh, 4-0, 3-0." Hey, pay some respect. Lens, Lens, Lima, Echo, Nancy, Sierra will either lose to Arsenal by a scoreline of the same score Arsenal lost in France, 2-1, 1-0. That is the only scoreline Arsenal have to beat this team. Or you're going to face a 0-0 draw, a 1-1 draw, or a 2-2 draw. 60% chance this team will beat Arsenal 1-0 or 2-1. And I'm calling it now to avoid no nonsense. Arsenal will either beat them 2-1 or 1-0 or draw. It is 40% draw or 40% win chance for Arsenal. Or you will lose 60% in favor to the visitor 1-0 or 2-1. Why is this? Arsenal have a shaky defense when they play at home against Premier League teams. And now you are facing a Champions League team who's been tearing it up in France. If you look at their table in France, this team here don't fear no one. And in France, they are, I believe, third or fourth place if I'm not mistaken. Lens, folks, is this is a team that was not going to play here. Okay? This team here is ranked either fourth or ranked third in the French league. And they are going to play Lyon this weekend. And I will present that for you guys. Again, another guaranteed win for them. This team they don't fear Arsenal. And I expect them to shock the Gunners tomorrow in the Emirates Stadium. And you got to go with them. So this team won. Let me see right now in France. They are ranked, folk, in France 6th in the league. It doesn't matter. They will beat Arsenal at 60% or draw them at 40% or lose to them on the spread +1 or +2. Now, in the Champions League, and this show don't do biasness, you know me. And now for the second game, I have well, it's not fair to pick Bayern Munich against FC Copenhagen because why? I expect Bayern to win this game 100%, and I'm expecting Harry Kane to score a goal 60 to 70% in that match in Bavaria against FC Copenhagen. Since I cannot pick this game for you guys, I'll have to replace it. I have three games for you, right? We have Real Madrid, my Real Madrid, hosting my Napoli. It's a tough choice. It's a game I should avoid, right? Because why? When I watch Italian football, I support Napoli. But in this little thing of ours, we cannot be biased. Real Madrid will be hosting Napoli at 3 p.m. Mark this time for the Arsenal game is also at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Real Madrid hosting Napoli. Folks, go with Real Madrid 100% victory. You will need to avoid doing spread. When I say 1-0 victory, I'm expecting Madrid to win this game 1-0 or 2-1. I repeat, Real Madrid 100% on the money line as a DUB for the dub. 1-0 Madrid or 2-1 Madrid. If you ask me why, Real Madrid beat a team that they were supposed to struggle against, Cadiz, without Vinicius and Camavinga last Sunday. They made it look easy. 3-0. Rodrigo, 2 goals. Bellingham, 1 goal to close the game. Tomorrow, I'm expecting a guy like Joselu, I'm calling you out, Joselu to score tomorrow against Napoli. You are the only player I'm going to call out here. Other than that, I'm expecting Bellingham to score, Jude to score at 70% on the props. Again, Joselu to score at 30%. I expect you to score as a striker. And Jude Bellingham at 70% to score within 90 minutes. All this is within 90 minutes. I do not do overtime when it comes to soccer spreads. 90 minutes. Joselu 30% to score. Jude Bellingham 70% to score. And for all the Bayern Munich lovers, Harry Kane will score in this game 60 to 80%. I will up the NT for you guys. So don't forget Madrid, 100% guaranteed victory against Napoli. Sorry, Napoli fans, I have to go with the reality here. Now, my third and final game for tomorrow, I have a shocker for you guys. To all you guys who follow Turkish football in Istanbul, oh, I have a special for you. The mighty Manchester United travel to Turkey to face Galatasaray. I know that Manchester United, and respect to Mr. Garnacho who scored the wonderful goal. Young man, respect. A goal that we may never see again, perhaps in this decade. Cristiano Ronaldo was the last one to score a goal like this against Juventus. In the quarterfinal, when Real Madrid did the unthinkable at the Dele Alpi Jr. and Ronaldo did the overhead kick, and this kid repeat that stuff against Everton last Sunday. I have to give you your respect. But now, you are traveling to Turkey to face the mighty Galatasaray. This was the same team who beat Manchester United, if I'm not mistaken, back on November 20th, 2012, 1-0. This team lost to United in 2016 on July 30th, 5-2. Well, it's a different team now. But the last time United traveled to Istanbul, it was a loss. I repeat, the last time Manchester United traveled to Istanbul, Turkey, they lost 1-0. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a guy named Yilmaz who shocked Manchester United. So let's fast forward now to 2023. This game will be at 12:45 tomorrow afternoon. And I'm expecting Manchester United to be shocked by this team because why? I'm expecting a lineup from the Turkian team Muslera from Uruguay as the number one goalkeeper at 37 years old. At the back, I'm expecting Mr. Sacha Bouri from France, 23 years old. The Turkish sensation Kaan Ayhan at 29 years old. Mr. Ardur Kerim Bardaki from Chelsea or Turkey at 29 years old at the back. And also from España, Signore Angelino at the back at 26 years old. These four guys has formed a formidable alliance at the back. Therefore, Manchester United, you will face a team that can defend. And in the midfield, the ex-Tottenham player, Tanguy Ndombele at 26 years old in the midfield from France. Next to him, the ex-Arsenal FC player from Uruguay, Lucas Torreira. Torreira, oh, he comes from Uruguay. He only 5'5". He will be in the midfield to anchor against Manchester United. He played under Unai Emery. He know Arsenal football, Manchester United club very, very, very well. And up front in the attacking four, we have Dries Mertens or Mertens from Belgium at 36 years old. One of my ex-players from Napoli will be in the center attacking midfield. And then you have Baris Alper Yilmaz, now at 23 years old. That same guy whose cousin scored against Manchester United in 2012 to beat them 1-0. Oh yes, that's his cousin who scored the last goal to beat Manchester United. And right next to him is the ex-Manchester United, trained by Sir Alex Ferguson himself, Wilfred Zaha, my Ivorian cousin from another auntie at 31 years old, the ex-Crystal Palace captain, a nightmare, a thorn to Manchester United when he used to play in England. Why? He came from your academy. He trained with the likes of Paul Pogba, Wayne Rooney, Dimitar Berbatov. He was trained by Ryan Giggs himself on the wings. That's why he's so good on the left side in the academy. He played with the likes of Mikael Carrick, Paul Scholes, Louis Saha. In other words, Manchester United, you are in for a wild night in Istanbul, and they have the edge. And I'm expecting them to either... this is how it's going to go down. I'm going to do this on a 100% scale. Prediction for this one. If Galatasaray lose to Manchester United, because United are on good form, +1 Galatasaray. There will not be any +2. I do not expect Manchester United to beat this team 2-0 or 3-0. You either going to get away with a lucky 1-0 or you will draw. So 1-0 +1 underdog for Galatasaray. This is at 40%. They will lose to United in a boring 1-0 if they succumb. 1-0 United. And then 50% chance they will draw Manchester United in favor of Galatasaray. I repeat, 50% in favor of Galatasaray. And then, of course, 10% they will upset Manchester United and win the game 2-1 or 1-0 in Istanbul. Galatasaray. And I guarantee this. They will either draw 50% or lose. I'm giving Manchester United 40% chance to win this game. And 10% Galatasaray will defeat Manchester United 2-1 or 1-0. And that's my 3 predictions for the Champions League for you. You're welcome. Now when it comes to this, the other events that took place over the past weekend, let's start with soccer, of course. since I already began the show with soccer for the recap, there were some shockers, and I will start with the La Liga, since I did not do the Bundesliga and the League R. Scoreline was I told you guys that Antoine Griezmann was going to score for Atletico Madrid, and you think I joke about stuff like this, and I gave you a score -2, -1. Atletico Madrid would win the game. The scoreline, folk, was 1-0, and guess who scored the goal? Number 7, Antoine Griezmann, to beat Mallorca, as I called it. Real Madrid, I did not pick him in this game because of too many injuries, but the thing is, Madrid proved me right, or proved me wrong if you will, because I said +2, +1, but Madrid came up 3-0. Rodrigo, my number 11, with a brace, and of course, Jude, the sensation, the English Zinedine Zidane from Birmingham, sealed the deal in the 87th minute. And you know the celebration, open arm. And then we had in Italia, Il Calcio, AS Roma, and I told you guys 100% W. Jose Mourinho, the special one, does not make mistake twice. I knew AS Roma would redeem themselves, and they did. And I said that Lukaku was on form, and Paulo Dybala was on form. Paulo Dybala scored a sensational goal. Respect to El Shaarawy, the Prince. But most importantly, I told you the Argentine, the ex-Juventus player, would score. Lukaku did not score in the match, but on the form he's in, he was the one to set up Dybala for the goal. And I say he had a 90% chance to score in that match. With a 10% margin, he would not score. 3-1 AS Roma, and I give you the prediction 2-0, 3-1, or 4-1. And the scoreline was precisely 3-1, 100%. My mathematics don't lie, and the algorithm don't lie. 70 to 90%, I will nail it if I call it. And then I told you guys, Internazionale, the first team in the Serie A, ole, 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 Inter would deliver like a pregnant wife, no disrespect. And they did that, as I predicted, against Juventus. Arsenal Football Club in London, you can now forget about signing Dusan Vlahovic. He was the one to score first against Inter in the first half. Until El Lolo, the Argentine sensation, tied the game for Inter Milan. 1-1. Inter Milan robbed Juventus at the new Delle Alpi, aka the Allianz Arena. I still call it the Delle Alpi, as I predicted for you folks. I said that Inter would lose this game 80% +1, or win it 20% margin, 1-0 or 2-1. They tied the game. Now they're in first place, ahead of all the other teams in Italy. Now moving on to the Premier League before I close the soccer portion of this presentation. The shockers, folks, I have to begin with them before I get to the other games. Who would have thought that Manchester City would draw the mighty Liverpool in their own stadium at the Etihad? This has not been done. For those of you who follow English football, it's been a while since Manchester City lost to head to head. Manchester City last beat Liverpool April 2023 4-1 at the Etihad. They defeated Liverpool on December 22nd, 2022 3-2 at the Etihad. Manchester City last lost to Liverpool on April 16, 2022, long time ago. They have a perfect record against recently after the acquisition of Erling Haaland. But in the last games they beat Liverpool, they had the special ingredient. Their best player, the best center attack in midfield, if you ask me, and that is the Belgian Kevin De Bruyne. Without him, this team cannot tick. Yes, Julian Alvarez is a good center attack in midfield / center forward and / striker. but he does not have the capacity, the skills like the 31-year-old. Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, this guy is the reason why Manchester City tick in the Premier League. Without him, nobody fear Manchester City. Not in the Champions League, but in the Premier League. Kevin De Bruyne. Put some respect with an exclamation point on his name. He's not dead yet. He's alive. Scoreline was 1-1 Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold made a grave mistake, and Erling Haaland capitalized on it, but he redeemed himself in the second half by tying the game for Liverpool. And the scoreline was, I did tell you guys that Manchester City would have won the game 100%. Unfortunately, due to this draw, my record was brought down to 90%. And I'm proud of it. And I call this one wrong. And I have to own it. The other shocker, the one that could not make sense to me, was Chelsea being slapped as if Newcastle United borrowed a pair of gloves from Mike Tyson to demolish Chelsea in a game that I gave him 70% chance to win at Newcastle United. I gave Chelsea 70% chance to win that game because of what they did before the international break against the great Manchester City in a 2-2, 4 goals. It was 4-4, if I'm not mistaken, an 8-goal thriller. But for some reason, Chelsea, who still play bow-legged nowadays like stool pigeons, were unable to capitalize off that momentum to collect 3 points. And unfortunately, they paid the price, even though Raheem Sterling scored a magnificent free kick. Newcastle United obliterated Chelsea. Alexander Isak came back from his injury woes. And I did not know, folks. It was a surprise. LaSalle, the defender, scored a goal. Joelinton from Brazil in the midfield scored a goal. And then Flash Gordon from Everton scored the final goal to put the nail in Chelsea's coffin. Yes, you have a team that's worth $1 billion. But unfortunately, your $1 billion was not worth a damn thing at St. James's Park. You were baptized by the bishops of the Church of St. James's Park proper 4-1 Chelsea. Have you no shame? It is no wonder that I hear your name is linked with the likes of Victor Osimhen to cover your mistakes. My advice, stay away from a prize striker unless you are willing to dish out 200 million pounds. Thank you very much. And then I believe I did give you guys other scores. I did not. But I saved that one because why? Tottenham made the mistakes thinking that they were going to beat Unai Emery at his own game. You cannot beat Unai Emery in psychological warfare. This is the man who collected more trophies than his back could carry back in Spain. In the Europa League, if I'm not mistaken, a hat-trick. When he came to England, this was the same man Arsene Wenger recommended to replace him at Arsenal. This was the man who took Arsenal to the Europa League's final in Azerbaijan and Baku against Chelsea. It was unfortunate that he lost in the finals against Eden Hazard and Olivier Giroud, the ex-Arsenal player himself. You cannot beat Una Emery in psychological warfare with your new coach Angus Beef Costacoglu from Australia. I got respect for your new manager, but he's new to English football. Una Emery, technically speaking, this is his third year after his 2 year stint at Arsenal, and then now 1 year and a half at Aston Villa. You thought you were gonna beat this guy. Oli Watkins, I promise you, Aston Villa would either 40% draw you at the new White Hart Lane or 60% kick you in your rear -1. And guess who will do the job? Oli Watkins. Go watch the replay if I'm lying. Go watch the replay if I'm lying. Aston Villa beat Tottenham 2-1. And I'm done talking. I don't have to roast you. The scoreline speaks for itself. Now, folks, we're done with soccer. Let me crumble this paper and toss it aside. Yeah, Now let's focus on football. Folks, let's get straight to it. The NFL was shocking again this past Sunday, where the Buffalo Bills, I did not put them on my prediction, but I have to call you out. This bomb quarterback by the name of Joshua Allen cost the Buffalo Bills the playoff once again. And the city of brotherly love, the home of the Philly cheesesteaks and the curly fries, but most importantly, the homes of the Philadelphia Eagles. Folks, this was the reason I did not do a recording yesterday. When I'm upset, as I was taught by my mentors, I have many of them. My mentors always say, if you feel pissed off to the utmost level of festivity, which is not even a word in the English vocabulary, but I just invented it, never do a show, whether it's live in person or in a podcast. It will throw you off. Folks, the Buffalo Bills had the Eagles beaten. When I say beaten, I say, I thought that the Bills was going to beat the Eagles to shock them. Because why? The Eagles did a job for me when they defeated the Kansas City Thieves. And I was thinking they were going to get the business against the Bills. Josh Allen cost them a game in the very last 7 minutes, again by throwing in interceptions, and then huffed and puffed it up like a Jamaican ganja, no disrespect, but McClat, at overtime by missing a wide open. Even though he was guarded by one guy, Gabe Davis is skilled enough to beat anyone in the NFL on one-on-one coverage. Instead, the quarterback, who's worth 25 cents in my book, a quarterback, get it? A quarterback huffed and puffed